Good day. God bless you. Welcome back, guys. My name is Zach, and this is episode 31 in the Self Mastery series. I have been maintaining my weight over the last couple weeks at in between 245 and 250 pounds. So I'm still sitting at that 20 to 25 pounds down since the beginning of the year. And I think I've experienced this in the past many times where this is kind of the plateau and I've really had a hard time breaking it. Not to focus on the negative aspect of weight loss, but this is, like I've said many times over, like this is why I started a YouTube channel. I was like, Zach, you have to just have more accountability and bring a community of people along with you, and hopefully that can grow into something great, and we can have a healthier and wealthier and happier community together. So having said that, guys, I'm walking and jogging just great. When I understand my mind and why you do the things you do, and you think you're doing things you don't want to do, and for me, that'd be like eating ice cream or not like skipping a workout or something or whatever it is for you. I don't typically skip workouts. Today is a day off of working out, and I feel great about it. Like my body needs to rest. Speaking of that, like yesterday was a day off. It's Sunday today. Yesterday was Saturday, and I just got up and I'm down to 1 cup of coffee. So that is really my return. My sleep is returning to normal, and I'm getting the much longer sleep. Like I slept 8 hours 2 nights in a row now. Just great. Knocked out, not waking up to use the bathroom or nothing. I walked. I hit like 22,000 steps on Friday just at work and a little walk after work. And then that was Friday. And then Saturday was my day off. And I was walking around my apartment and right away in the morning. And I'm like, my God, I only got like 200 steps in, and I made a load. I'm moving out of this apartment in a couple months. So I'm still making small trips, renting a room from a friend, just like 20-minute drive away. And I was like, let me just go for a walk. Maybe I'll just walk a half mile down the road. And I grabbed my water bottle. And anyway, I ended up walking 10 miles straight, just nice and slow, though, like a 20-minute mile, even less, just shuffling along. Had my earbuds in, listening to a wonderful book that I'll talk more about when I get through it. It's just awesome. It's so good. I might listen to it 2 or 3 times before I even talk about it because it's just a great book. It's about 9 years old, and it's another just self-awareness book and learning about how your mind works and stuff. So OMAD is what I'm still trying to do, and I'm just cheating a little bit. That's why I'm at the 245, 250. OMAD, if I would stick to it like I was before with the low carb, coffee, cardio, and keto, I was calling it, remember? And I was dropping weight like crazy. Get up and get yourself amped, whether that's drink water or coffee or tea or just whatever you need to do to wake up, but at least drink water. Do your cardio, which can be as light as just doing a walk or yoga, and then keto OMAD. So just eat a low carb, high fat, one meal. For me, keeping it under 2,500 calories is definitely low enough calories because like my watch, for example, keeps track of my calories for the day. And it's only noon, and it's already saying I'm at 1,391 calorie need for just my resting metabolic rate and then the exercise I've done, which I've only walked like 1 mile today so far. Just exactly 1.0 miles. That's fine. 2,025 steps. Just did some moving, and it's a day off, so I probably won't even hit. Well, I'm not going to hit 10,000 a day unless I go for a little extra walk because I'm only at 2,000. So, you love yourself. I'm loving myself, but you need to better. I need to learn how to better understand what's going on in my mind. Like, for example, if I have a core value, my Christianity is my number one value in life. Like my actions, for the most part, what I can see in my life align with my Christian beliefs. Like I follow the 10 commandments or, whatever. I mean, nobody needs to tell me to not murder somebody. You just, it's more like a rule of your values. My values is, love myself and love others and be be kind, love and be kind to myself, and love and be kind to others, and develop positive habits in myself. And if I could help other people develop positive habits in themselves, which brings up a point, I think some people get a little irritated by people like, well, Zach, you're 250 pounds and I'm 200 trying to get to 180. How can you give me advice? It's like, well, I'm not saying I'm better than you. Even like Magnus Carlsen is the greatest chess player in the world, and considered by many to be the greatest chess player of all time. He has a chess coach. Mike Tyson was, in my opinion, the most devastating attacking boxer, knockout power, aggressive killing machine, a heavyweight champion at 18 years old. His boxing coach was a gray-haired old man, that couldn't beat up anybody. So I'm just bringing up the point, like, we need to help each other. Not just we need to, we can help each other achieve goals that you haven't even achieved. For example, the world chess champion's goal is to be the world chess champion. His coach is not the world chess champion, but he has coached him to become one. Same with Mike Tyson, same with many, many other people. Think of a basketball coach, they couldn't do anything on the court, and they're teaching these teams to win NBA championships, and they do. So that's the point about that. Like, this channel's not I'm not pretending to be the player. I'm not even pretending to be some great coach. We're following along together, and we're just learning as we go. And like I keep saying, a big part of that for me is loving myself. And so when I get in line with a goal that I have, let's say to lose weight, or my values, like my value is to love yourself, right? So then you say, I'm having this thought that I want to eat ice cream. Is that in line with my values? Or, well, let's break it down. Like, if I know ice cream is chemically addictive, chemically damaging to my body, that the sugar content alone, even if there wasn't artificial ingredients in it, the sugar content alone is poisonous, having been diabetic in the past and still borderline like pre-diabetic. Just terrible for my organs, my kidneys, my livers. Diabetes is the number one cause of like heart disease, stroke, amputations, neuropathy, ED, blindness. It's associated with all kinds of problems. So, like, are you really loving yourself if you're willing to damage your body with some poisonous food like that? And something I'm learning lately is to be aware of those thoughts, and that I think I've come down on myself so hard in the past, like say fear or anxiety or depression, or just negative thoughts that aren't in line with your values. Everybody has those thoughts because it's natural for human survival. I brought it up before, if our ancestors weren't afraid to walk on the edge of the cliff, they would have died, and they wouldn't have passed on their genes, their DNA to be afraid of heights, or be afraid of the dark, or be at least apprehensive to leave the safety of the cave and go out and hunt saber. The paranoid survived. And so it's very, very natural to think negatively, which, by the way, has helped me understand my friends and coworkers and family and myself, that it's very natural to have a negative thought. I've always put people down kind of inside myself, like, you're just so negative, and I'm trying to be positive, and now I understand a lot better, especially when you think, well, my negative thought is eat ice cream, and their negative thought might, be more impactful, like to the world around them. But what's more impactful than your thoughts negatively impacting yourself? So being aware of that, and that's okay. You could start a diet and want to quit immediately, and that means you're normal. I think about marathon runners, just for an example, because I've ran half marathons and I plan on running a full marathon next year. Your body and your mind are going to tell you to quit continuously through that whole thing. And I promise you, even the winners, it's never easy. I've accepted this like a few days ago too, where it's like, hey, this is never going to be easy. It's okay. It can be a fight always. We can be at war always with this. Not that you want to have like high cortisol levels in your body and high stress levels in your body always. You're going to become comfortable with the war within. that it's okay to have a negative thought, and so you become aware of it, and you identify that this is a negative thought, or this is, you could even kind of joke with it. Oh, fatty thought or something, or, oh, there goes fear. There's a fearful thought. Don't say I am afraid, but say I am identifying a thought of fear, depression, anxiety. Depression is worrying about yesterday. Anxiety is worrying about tomorrow. Stress is just worrying about the moment, maybe. So just identify it. And something I read in the book lately was like, just let it drift down the stream. And I really like it because I'm into nature and I love hiking and I love being next to a stream and water. And a babbling brook, for example, is what's in my mind. And I see the trees and the leaves, and you grab a leaf and you just put that negative thought on there and put it in the stream and just let it flow down and understand it's okay. And you can do it with positive thoughts too, just to practice. Just letting the river of thought go by without it having to affect you so much. There's whole lines of philosophy that I've read about that I agreed with at the time, but I totally don't agree at all now. And it is that, like, your thoughts are reality, and your thoughts are things, and your thoughts become true no matter what. Thousands of people are not terrified, but afraid to fly. Like, there's some apprehension about flying, and all those people that are worried about it. And then there's just literally 1 in a billion chance to die in a plane crash. So if all those thoughts become reality, well, then there'd be a lot more plane crashes. But the fact is, it's not. Or you could walk, out to your car at night and be worried about being attacked, and then not be attacked, and then see those thoughts didn't happen. Or you can tell yourself, I'm unable to raise my arm. 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 See, my thoughts and even my words didn't stop me from raising my arm. And so the point is, a good, bad, or neutral, that your thoughts aren't necessarily you. They're just thoughts coming and going, maybe from your ancestral, your DNA, your genes, from programming. For example, I can say, Mary had a little, and see, I made you think a word, and you had no choice. That word popped in your head automatically, and it was pre-programmed in there. So the point is, you can let those go. You can let that thought go, and you can stick to what your actions are going to be, because those actions are going to be who you are. For example, you want, and who you are is what you want to be, is something in line with your character, with your moral fiber, with your goals, with your virtue, with your values. That's what I was trying to get to. When your actions are in line with your values, you don't have to necessarily be all excited to perform that action. Like, the confidence in that action will come from, performing the action. Like, am I confident I can run a half marathon? Or I know I can run a half marathon. Why? I'm confident I can because I have several times. Am I confident I can run a full marathon? No. But will I go jogging and train for it? Yes. So the actions will bring about the confidence, and then doing it will make you confident that you can do it because you did it, because you're doing it. So when you try to think, I know some people I've tried to encourage to even skip breakfast, and they're just like, oh, can I just have a protein shake? Like, they can't even imagine skipping one meal. But you know what would give you the confidence to do it? To just do it. Quit thinking about it. You're not your thoughts. You're your actions. Just do it. Skip breakfast. Be hungry. It will go away immediately. Which, by the way, I have a new thing where every time I feel hungry, especially at work, I just go drink 1 cup of warm water. Not hot, not lukewarm, just warm. Kind of on the, like, above lukewarm, but not like hot as coffee, where you could chug it, but it's about as warm as it could be, where you could still just drink the whole thing right down, like, dun, 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 but nice and warm. And that warm going into your stomach seems to stimulate either the hormone the satiety hormone. Can't remember the name of the satiety hormone. We might have to Google that later. there's hunger hormones and then satiety hormones that counter, and then you're not hungry. Anyway, it just goes away and your hunger's gone. And sometimes I even forget about it. I drink the warm water and I'm kind of just doing stuff and I totally forget that I was hungry. And I don't need that work anyway. So you just move on. So I'm loving myself and I'm learning to better identify these thoughts that are coming into my mind and say, okay, that's normal. Yeah, I don't have to be so mad at myself for wanting to eat ice cream. It's normal. Like this is like a chemically addicting drug, chemical addictive. It's made to, they create it for you to be addicted to it. And it's something that you've desired and had, and you're confident that you can have it. And that brings up another point with me. Like, I'm trying to figure out my thoughts. Like, why am I so weak sometimes? And then other times I'm so strong. For example, like people think it's hard to fast for 4 days. And I fasted for 4 days, 13 times in a row, every other 4 days, every 8 days, every 8 days, I fasted 4 days. And what I've come up with recently today, especially thinking about it, was that it's just become very normal to me. Like, well, you can be disciplined for 13, 19, 4 day fasts, because after that you're gonna pig out and gain it back. And I did. And what I hadn't identified until recently was that's normal to me. So this is what is called a negative feedback loop, where you just are in this cycle, and it happens in relationships. It happens in childhood very often, where your mother or your father or your siblings or whatever happened to you when you're little, and it's usually before the age of 8 years old, that things were happening that you learn to deal with in some way. And they can be good things, but in the context I'm bringing up, for example, it's a bad thing. Like just a really simple one would be like a baby on a couch drinking his bottle, and let's say 2 years old, not a baby, but rolling over and just crawling right off the couch and bumping his head and crying, and then developing a negative view of couches. Like couches are dangerous. Couches bring you pain. Couches cause suffering in your life, and so you have this loop of this happens, this result, this negative feeling, this negative thought. And it big time with relationships. I've dated women that continuously brought up that their exes did this or this, and repeatedly brought it up to me. And it's like, I've never done none of those things to you. I've never done any of those things to you or any woman I've ever been with, and I told you that when I met you. And nothing against, and it goes with men do the same thing. A woman broke my heart and made me cry, and took my money, and took my house, and took my children. And now all women are evil because that's what they're going to do. And that'd be like a negative feedback loop. I want to be in love, but then I meet a woman, and then as I fall in love, I remember this is what happened that last time, and I was hurt, and then you end up ruining it yourself. Like I said, both ways, men and women both do it. And that's why I say, if you're not really mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, spiritually healthy, the Bible talks about dusting the feet off of your sandals before you walk to the next village, so you don't carry that dust from that village into the new village. And if you haven't knocked the dust off of your sandals and from your last relationship or from your issues, you should probably handle that before you go to that next relationship and bring all this garbage with you. And it goes both ways. Not bashing on men or women. So I'm identifying that this has become a normal phase for me. Lose 30, gain 30, lose 30, gain 30, even, lose 70, gain 70. I've done it so many times, but I'm giving myself credit. I'm fighting. I'm not giving up. I have to quit saying that I'm going to win eventually, because you have to start winning today at some point, right? Like, you can't just, oh, well, we're going to build a relationship together and we're going to have a future together. And then just, you're always fighting and arguing because it's never today that you're going to treat your loved one correctly or kindly. So we need to learn how to treat ourselves kindly and with respect and in line with our values. Now, today, every minute of every day, it's always going to be a fight. You always have to be on. I'm realizing when I went camping the other week, I had just got done with a 5-day fast, and I use the 5-day fast as a excuse to where I can just eat whatever I want while I'm out camping for a few days. I'll eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'll eat treats and snacks. And even though we didn't have like tons of sweets or anything, I ate a lot more than I normally would have and didn't really work out as much as I would have. And you know, and as I look back at it, I mean, I'm like, I need to stick to my values more and you know, just love myself. And I, you know, if a family member or friends, and I'll say it positive, they're more than likely going to understand if you say, hey, you know, yeah, I'll go camping and that's wonderful, but I'm going to bring my own food and I'm going to only eat low carb and I'm only going to eat dinner. And then you can just do whatever you want and we'll have a great time and we'll go, you know, we'll do all our normal camping activities, but I'm just going to stick with, and so I think, you know, most of the time, you know, don't have a negative mind about it. Don't have a negative outlook like, oh, they're going to be all like, oh, why are you doing that? Well, if they're like that, then don't go. Then don't be around people like that. But like I said, I think don't be negative. Don't assume people are going to be negative about it. Just assume you're going to get along great. Every time I meet a stranger, every time a new person starts at my work, every time I interact with any human being I see, any race, age, color, creed, religion, I just assume we're going to be friends. Why wouldn't I assume that? Well, why would I assume anything other than that, you know? So I'm recognizing my thoughts and I'm becoming aware of them. And that is just kind of step one right now. I still need to learn what to do past that, but I'm getting the idea. The idea for me, the idea of this recognizing your thoughts and identifying the negative thoughts you're having, identifying the positive thoughts, maybe even like naming them. So first thing, you got to notice your thought. Then you could name it. You could name it good, bad, neutral, whatever you want to name it. Like name it in line with your values or not, or it's just really not a value-based thought. And then move on, you know, and take actions that are in line with your values, even though those thoughts can just come and go. It can be like a radio playing in the background that you're just not even really paying attention to. You're still plugging away at what you know you need to do. And no, I don't have it mastered, but we're going to master it. And when we master it, we are going to claim victory. And this self-mastery series may move on to another series. But for now, we definitely need to stay in the self-mastery series. And just, we need to, I need to think bigger. We need to like look past your little problem as your whole life. Like, I want to live to be 100, maybe even 110, let's say. And at my funeral, is it going to be significant that this happened when I was 51 years old? You know, it's like, no. I like this one too. So like, let's say you have a cup, and this is an old Buddhist saying, or maybe it's Hindu or something. I can't remember, but the Buddhist master tells the student to go get, you know, let's just say a cup of salt. And he puts the cup of salt in there and he stirs it around and he says, taste it. And he's like, oh my God, you know, it's so bad. And it just, ugh. He goes, okay, now go take that cup of salt and walk down to the lake and throw it in the lake. And then wait for it to dissolve and then drink out of the freshwater lake. And he's like, oh, that water was great. It was the same amount of salt. It was the same negative thing. But when you expand it out, it's not so bad. You know, so it's the idea of expanding the space that this negative thought or even negative action, negative idea is confined to. When you compartmentalize it so closely in your brain, then it seems so bad. When you can expand your universe and expand your mind and take that problem and dissolve it over a greater area, in whatever way you can do that. You know, I just use the example of thinking about your funeral in 50 years and how insignificant this little event will be. Like I use it in my child support, you know, because it is financially oppressive that I can't even afford to rent an apartment, and that's why I'm moving out. But in the long run, is it going to affect my happiness when I'm retired in 10 years and I'm remarried and I have little kids again and I'm just enjoying retirement and enjoying raising children, which might sound crazy to you. It sounds absolutely awesome to me. It sounds like a dream come true to me. So that's another thing. Everybody's values are going to be different. Like what goals do you have? What values do you have? What is in line with my values might not be what's in line with your values. I've even had people come to me like let's just say acquaintances that maybe call ourselves friends, but we're not like super good friends or anything. But we know each other and we have mutual respect and want to help each other. And call it a friend. And they're talking to me like they're seriously concerned and worried about blah blah blah. Oh, Zach, you seem so intelligent, you seem so smart, you seem to have so much knowledge, you've read so many books. And then I see you eat, and I'm going to say eat ice cream. I love that one because it just seems so negative, right? And it's like, well, I didn't think it was a victorious thing either. Like, I recognized it as a failure. What Henry Ford say about failure? He said, failure is just an opportunity to do it again with a better understanding. To take on the goal again, take on the objective again with a better understanding of maybe don't eat ice cream and you'll lose more weight. I mean, it's just obvious, right? Was it Edison or Einstein? Edison. I think it was Edison said like every failure, I failed 1,000 times. I didn't consider any one of them a failure. I just learned how to not do it. When he was trying to find the filament for the light bulb, he was trying, all different ways with the vacuum and the different. I don't know the whole story, but I know he said that about Michael Jordan. I love this one. He's like, why are you the greatest basketball player of all time? And he named didn't even make the basketball team as a freshman, has been given the game-winning shot, has been fed the ball for the game-winning shot and missed it dozens of times, has lost, hundreds of games. And, he said all his failures are why he's successful. And that's why I tell everybody to hurry up and fail. The biggest failures, the biggest loser, quitter, whiners that I just have no respect for are the guys that will jump on board and say, that month ago or whatever, a couple weeks ago when we did our 4-day fast, there was a handful of people that was like, I'm in. And I said, I'm going to commit to a 6-day fast instead of a 4-day fast. And these two guys are like, I'm in for a 4-day fast. And this guy was like, I'm in, but he only made it 1 day. Totally respect that dude. Never fasted before and made it 24 hours. That's awesome. This guy, never fasted before or very little, made it 24 hours. I was like, he tried, he went for it, man, that's a win. And then other people that didn't even start. Why? Because they're so afraid to fail. Their identity is like, I'm perfect, so I can't. So if I don't do it, then I didn't fail. It's like, you are the only one that failed in my world because you didn't even try. And that's why if I can convey to anybody out there, which by the way, I have about 100 new subscribers in the last 28 days, which is how YouTube, it keeps like a rolling 28 days of a lot of your stats. And I went over 100 new subscribers yesterday or today in the last 28 days. So please, guys, thank you so much for come to the channel. And please hit that notification bell so you can see when I go live and you can see my new videos. And if you love the channel and the content and you know what Zach Patterson is trying to do in this world is have a positive impact on people and lives and communities, that you've considered joining the channel for only 99 cents a month. And you'll just get a little badge on your name for when you comment. It'll have a little badge there. And I will shout out your names and I'll be so thankful and loving and happy. And the money right now will be used to promote the channel. And, I still advertise a little bit, not as much as I was. If you looked how quickly I went from 2,000 subscribers to 5,000 subscribers, it was because I was advertising pretty heavily and looking to grow the channel. And but those finances kind of ran out. So now it's just a little bit of financing, a couple dollars here and there, promoting individual videos. So, which by the way, guys, if you could go back and watch all the videos, there's 102 videos in the Healthy, Wealthy, Happy series. There's 31 videos in the Self-Mastery series now. Just take an afternoon, or as you're driving, or as you're going to bed, or as you're sitting in the bathroom, play a few videos, watch the commercials. But what I'm looking for is advice on, what videos are your favorites? Are they, which one, has the good message or a positive outlook, or, connected with you on a higher level than the other ones do. And just let me know. You could comment on any video and say, hey, episode 24 of this series, or episode 9 of that series, episode 100 of that series. And then I could spend a few dollars on advertising that I do on those videos, and that would be a wonderful help to me and the channel. Like I said, guys, I wanna feed children in Africa. I want to build homes in the Philippines. I want to feed poor people. I want to help communities. I want to build a peaceful world. I want to impact the world in a loving, caring, sharing, kind, hope, faith-filled way in the name of Jesus Christ. I pray that this can be done. And if you have any faith in that ability, that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the belief in things unseen. I do not see how this can be possible, but with Jesus, I know it can happen, and that's the hope of the future, and something that I don't see how it can completely be completed yet. And that's the definition of faith. So please, people, keep the faith. Jump on board with Jesus, because he loves you. I love you. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode.